Welcome all. Thank you very much, Thomas. As you already mentioned, you are in the midst of major changes in international relations, and we could even say that you are undergoing tectonic geopolitical shifts. This affects our cooperation with Africa as a continent, as well as with individual African countries and the regional organizations. I believe that precisely because of the current context of increasing rivalry, we need to work towards strengthening our partnership because we face common global challenges. The war in Gaza, the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and the COVID-19 pandemic are all major testing moments for our cooperation. From the European Parliament, we want to make sure that the European Union-Africa strategy delivers tangible results for people. I'm delighted that you have guests who can speak based on sound analytical analysis of each experience from the ground, and I really look forward to our exchanges this morning. I invite our speakers to be honest about the difficulties and at the same time bold in the recommendations to us, parliamentarians, which you can follow in our scrutiny of EU development cooperation. As Chertobe mentioned, the Commission will present a communication on strengthening the EU-Africa partnership in a few months. In this perspective, our hearing is an excellent opportunity to assess whether the 2000 strategy for Africa is still fit for purpose. We also need to analyse how the commitments undertaken at the EU-African Union Summit in February 2022 were implemented and whether they were successful. In my capacity as co-chair of the ACPU Joint Parliamentary Assembly, and I want to inform you that finally you have all the conditions to make the meeting to implement the new GPAs in Angola in the end of February 2022. I see how Europe and Africa are interdependent in tackling climate change, the energy transition, food security and other areas. I am convinced that the signing of the Samoa Agreement for EU-ACP cooperation will reinforce multilateralism to help us develop joint solutions to achieve the SDGs on human and sustainable development. In this context, it is my pleasure to welcome our keynote speaker because Professor Mauricio Carbon has been analysing the EU-Africa partnership since the early 2000s and was also advising the European Commission in the drafting of the post-Cotonou Agreement. Thank you, Professor. Mr. Carbon is Professor of International Relations and Development at the University of Glasgow, focusing on the EU external policies. In fact, Mr. Carbon, 10 years ago, you authored a book with the title The European Union in Africa, Incoherent Policies, Asymmetrical Partnership, Declining Relevance. So big, yeah, so big challenge for us to cut the mark. So I look forward to reading how things have evolved since then and what needs to be done to increase our relevance in and for Africa. And so it's my pleasure to give the floor to Professor Mauricio Carbon for 8 minutes. Thank you very much.